Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Maddie V. Thank you for sending me stories. Honestly, I really did not think that I was gonna even get like one or two, so I got 7. Yes. But I'm reading them and I'm really sorry if anything is triggering, so I'm going to put some trigger warnings in this just to let you know. So look out for those. I'll tell you when it starts and when it ends so that you can skip through it. I think there's only like one, but just to be safe, trigger warnings. So yeah, please enjoy my video. Bye. Well, not bye, see you in a sec. I just kind of feel like it's time to talk about some stuff that went down in the sorority, good and bad, and some stuff that like I want to take accountability for. I was president and vice president in my sorority. So my sophomore and junior year I was vice president, and then my junior and senior year I was president. I know it's the weirdest thing to think about, but like I was put in a position of power that I clearly was like not ready in. I lost a lot of friends. I ruined a lot of relationships, but I also feel like from some of the feedback I've gotten from some people, I made quite a difference in their college experience. And to those people, thank you so much for letting me know. And to all the people that I know I've hurt in the past being in the sorority, like, I'm sorry. I'm not the same person I was when I was in college. I tried my best to be a good leader, to be an emotional leader, to be someone that understood what was going on. But at the end of the day, and I'm not making excuses for myself, at the end of the day, I also had a boss. I also had someone that I had to report to, and there were bylaws that were put in place for years and years and years that we had to follow. And a lot of it I didn't like. I literally rewrote the whole code of conduct to try to be more understanding of women that are in college that are going through struggles, grades, financially, mentally, physically, whatever is going on with your life. The sorority should have been something where you felt comfortable to come and talk to people about. It should have been a support system, and for a lot of people, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was a place of cattiness and meanness and public humiliation, and I just can't believe some of these stories. And again, like when I was president or vice president, if I did any of these things to you, I'm so sorry. Seriously, feel free to message me, and like I would love to work anything out. There's people that I was extremely close to that I don't talk to and haven't talked to in years, and feel really sad about that. But at the end of the day, like I was doing my job, and I took a role that I thought was going to be beneficial for myself, and it was. And I lost a few friends along the way, but life moves on. We can move on from this, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get some of my old friends back. Okay, first story is
I was excused from initiation to meet my baby sister who was born, and I didn't know that she was. And then when I got home, my friend knew I was having a hard time and surprised me with tickets to a concert, and I went. At my sorority, they talked shit about me in the kitchen for over an hour and used someone else's phone to record my Snapchat story where I spent 3 hours away from my family and I was sober, and they sent me to standards and talked shit about me in the kitchen of the house where all my friends could hear. The girl who showed my story had already graduated.
This is something that I am guilty of, and I've totally done this before, and I got like such a huge ego. I was like, oh my god, these girls are definitely drinking, blah, blah, blah. But I forget that you can actually go out and have a fun time without drinking, and that was like a foreign concept to me at the time. I'm so sorry this happened to you. That is just feeling like you can't be safe in a place that you're living, that people are talking shit about you. If your privacy has been violated because people are recording your Snapchat stories without you knowing, is just so sad. And it's happened to me. I've done it to people. I totally know. I can see every part of this, and it's just devastating. And it's like, that is not the values that we hold to, at least being in a sorority, what I thought. At least you got to meet your baby sister and go on to a concert, and honestly, that's what I would have done, a big to the sorority, because if that happened to me, I'd be like, dude, I'm nowhere near you. Leave me alone. Let me have fun. I'm going through hardships that you obviously don't understand, and I don't really feel like sharing to you because you don't care. And clearly they didn't care. So you do you, girl. I'm glad that you're I don't know if you're affiliated with the sorority anymore, but I'm glad that you're doing you and feeling like you can let people know what's going on. I completely just stopped doing my makeup, so sorry. I once
was sent to standards because I told our scholarship chair that I had anxiety and asked if I could study in my own room or because studying in the library made me anxious and I had panic attacks if I felt overwhelmed with too many people in there. I even offered to email her daily or work with her to come up with a system about how many hours I studied that day or week so she could make sure I wasn't making up the hours. She pretty much told me I needed to suck it up and get over my fear. Well, that didn't work and I ended up not making my hours 1 month. The next thing I know, I got
a letter to go to standards. Oh, if you don't know, standards is like if you do something bad in your sorority, some people call it standards, some people call it honor board, some people call it J board, you know, a lot of different things people call it, but all in all, it is like pretty much going to court for doing something like not getting a study hour or posting something on social media that wasn't good. Like, standards is the weirdest thing that for me, I was like, I want to be the standards chair and I want to change it to be like a helpful thing. And I want to make standards a conversation and I want to make standards a warning, not a final solution. But no one agreed with me. But just saying, not that I'm like running for sorority president anymore, but just what I'm saying is like, I'm so sorry that had happened to you. Seriously, standards, they make it seem like the scariest thing ever when in reality you should have just sat in there and been like, and this might be totally different for you, but I totally understand like being in a library, especially our library at Wazoo, was super disgusting and not a very friendly environment for studying. Honestly, I bet you had good grades. I bet you studied better on your own. I bet you were smarter than everyone else. So don't stop being you. And yeah.
I never felt like I belonged, and nobody truly went out of their way to get to know me besides a few people. When I first joined, I was in an abusive relationship, so my boyfriend would never allow me to go around the house, and that was the key time to make friends and to get to know my sisters. When we broke up, I started coming around more, but people already had their groups, so it always seemed like whenever I tried to talk to them or go out of my way to get to know them, they always would put me down because I didn't fit into their mold. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough or the right type of person to be in a sorority, and I started doubting myself and asking myself, why did they choose me if they don't even like me? I would cry myself to sleep most nights because I felt alone and like I had no one, even when I put in the effort and did all the right things. After 2 years, I ended up dropping out of college and completely never looked back. Best decision
I ever made. That is so heartbreaking to me to hear stories like that because I felt the same way. Like, I joined a sorority because I was like, you know what? I can't wait to meet a group of women that align with my values because recruitment is all about values-based recruitment and oh my God. So you're on the outside, you see all these people that are so pretty and so nice and they're like, hey, join our sorority. Like, we love personal growth and we love philanthropy. Like, you should definitely join us. And then you get in and they're like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you have to do this, you can't do this, you can't talk to these people, blah, blah, blah. You got to have this deadline, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna wear this, you can't. And I'm like, what is going on? So I completely understand how freaking heartbreaking it would be to be in a relationship, first of all, that is not only abusive, but you want to get away from that. So you want to meet these girls that you join this house to meet them for. And then boom, no one feels like they want to talk to you. That is so sad and I'm so sorry. Honestly, good for you. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I hope that you had a few people in the sorority that were nice to you and that you still have relationships with, because at the end of the day, if you at least have a few of those people, then you did join it for a good reason and it wasn't just a complete waste of money and time. So fingers crossed. Thank you for sharing your story again. Like, seriously, thank you. I'm really trying to make change here, and these stories will bring these kinds of things to different people that are working for the sorority, so thank you so much. I'm also going to put a trigger warning now. This does pertain things that might make people uncomfortable.
So I was sexually assaulted freshman year and my grades suffered from it. I refused a little, so I wrote a letter and explaining my situation. Oh, I was refused little. So I wrote a letter and explaining my situation. The main lady told me it was my fault and I needed to do better. I was also sent to standards at least once every semester. Half of them were complete lies and I suffered the consequences anyway. I also went out on a dry night and was sober and still got hunted down by the vice president and was dragged out of the frat in front of everyone. The same vice president stood up during initiation and embarrassed me in front of everyone, including my new members. I don't know if any of these qualify, but the sorority was the main source of my anxiety sophomore year, and I dropped the second my housing contract was over.
Oh my god, this story resonates with me so much on a couple levels. One level, the same thing actually happened to me. I don't want to get into it too aggressively, but I was also sexually assaulted my freshman year in college. My grades suffered horribly because of it, and therefore I lost my position as the social chair. And I wrote a letter to our advisor saying, hey, this is so out of my character. Something horrible happened to me. I really want this position so I can keep growing and I can move on and have something else to focus on. So please, like, hear me out. I know that you don't normally make pardons, but please, for me, can you just, I really need this. And she was like, no. And I was like, okay. And I spiraled down a huge hole of depression and all this other stuff. And yeah, so girl, I feel you. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I understand completely about the whole going out on a sober night thing. From a president's aspect of it, we don't know if you're not drinking. Maybe, obviously, you're probably out of college now, but like anyone that's watching this that's in college that really wants to experience everything, like their favorite fraternity might be having a party that night and you are sober, I would just, honestly, I don't know if this would work, but maybe being honest with your counsel and being like, hey, I really want to support these guys. Can I please go out? I am not drinking. I can be, you know, the designated driver for people. I'm doing better for the community by not drinking, so hear me out. So, you know, there's other ways to go about it. I know that me, like, I would sometimes go out when I wasn't supposed to, but I had like that reputation of like I was always going out, so I didn't blame people for getting me in trouble, but honestly, that's no excuse for judgment. Anxiety is like a huge thing that I got from being in the sorority too. That is like not chill whatsoever. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. I hope that you got the help that you needed. If you haven't, you know, reach out to me or anyone that you feel like is a good resource for that. And I promise you that people care about you.
I got myself into college with shitty grades, applied to WSU with a private loan in my own name, still in debt as fuck. In hopes I could make amazing friends and experiences in a sorority. After Rush, it was meetings about money and grades, like days after waking up at 6 a.m. to impress people of my own age/peer group. I worked full-time with school, with passing grades for college, but not for the sorority, and still wasn't making enough money to make the cut to stay in the sorority. I was one of the first people to drop that Rush year, worked my ass off to pay, but my grades would have put me on probation, so I dropped because I couldn't fulfill both. Working full-time and school, I couldn't socialize enough, so I didn't have enough social connection and grades and money, and just had to dip. One of the most stressful times of my life. We aren't close, but
I appreciate you for making me feel like a friend/important in those times, and will forever follow no matter how much we talk. Good luck with your YouTube channel, babe. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think I know who you are, but seriously, thank you. That means like so much to me. I've been feeling really guilty reading these. I'm like, was that me that was being that asshole? But seriously, I can totally understand how stressful that would be. Going to college is a huge accomplishment for people. To be totally candid, I did not pay for my college. I was lucky enough to be able to have a family that supported me through college. Props to you, seriously, like that's a lot on your plate. Like taking a private loan in your own name, joining a sorority, working full-time, keeping your good grades. I don't know how you didn't just completely lose your shit, but maybe you did, but you honestly are a badass. First of all, don't ever forget that. You had so much on your plate, and you as a person then does not equal who the person that you are in the future. I hope this was a learning experience for you, and one that made you rethink the priorities of, you know, organizations that don't seem like they have the best intentions in people. And I know this seems like I'm shading the sorority, but I can't help it. It's a sorority, so easy to make fun of. Just all, like, the whole like concept of being in a sorority is such a joke to me. And another topic is how ridiculously expensive sororities are. It is so sad to me that there are people in debt because of a sorority. Like the amount of people when I was in the sorority that we were like, oh, we have to send them to collections. I'm like, collections? That will ruin your credit. That could ruin so many things for these people and their parents. Holy cow, if you're a parent and you're watching this, I don't know if you're watching my stuff, but if you are, do not let college people tell you what to do. I'm sorry, like, girls join sororities and they're gonna do it on their own. They're like, you know what, I have this money, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna join a sorority. They go in not knowing how much it's gonna cost or how much things will accumulate over time, and then they get sent to collections, and it can literally ruin a lot of things for people. So again, if you're watching this because you want the honest truth to being in a sorority, don't take it seriously. Don't be a bad member where you're like, fuck you all, because I've been there, I've been that person, I've seen those people, but also challenge those people. Be a bad bitch, be like, you know what, no, I think we can formulate this a little better so that I'm not in debt for the rest of my life. Thanks, sis. Bye. That was a tangent, but girl, I applaud you for all the hard work that you did. Whoever you are, I love you, and I'm so excited for you, and I bet you're doing way better things in life.
One time as a junior, 20 years old, first semester, I got called to honor board for underage drinking. I mean, it probably was underage drinking, but they put quotes, so. They claimed I yelled at a staff member at the venue on our formal no witnesses, just a rumor. Did not happen. I have several girls who were with me that night and confirmed that I couldn't have done this or they would have known. Well, a few girls who didn't like me were on honor board and they voted in favor of me being on probation. And then when our advisor argued I shouldn't, they advocated for me to be put on probation for 6 months. I remember being so angry and feeling like I got totally fucked over for no reason. Love my house, but seriously, that permanently scarred me.
To be on probation for 6 months is absolutely insane. Like, that probably means that you can't go on date dashes, formals, sororities. Also, if you don't know what a date dash is, lol. I had this whole video of me like going over my old date dash shirts and stuff. It's like this weird social event where you have a date and you wear a matching shirt and you like drink, and I don't know. I really don't understand the concept now that I'm thinking back about it. But it was fun at the time, and I've had a lot of fun experiences with date dashes, but anyway, being on probation for 6 months is just absurd. I mean, obviously, if they're trying to promote a higher agenda of focusing on school and you broke a rule, so now you have to do this, like, I understand from, like, being a president from that point of view, but also the bigger thing is thinking that you have people standing behind you who are seriously like, no, she should definitely be on SoPro for 6 months. Like, that is crazy. That's like sentencing someone like 6 years in jail for underage drinking. Like, are you kidding me? That is college jail, being so like on social probation. And I'm not advocating that drinking is like the only thing to do in college, but it is a huge thing. It's a huge culture, and it's something that a lot of people make memories behind, and it's a weird subject. It's a touchy line, but it's also like some of my best memories and some of my worst. But some of my best memories are from getting lit with the girls, you know? I don't know. But, ugh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm really glad that you love your sorority still, but I could see that how that could be permanently scarring for building relationships with other women in the future, which is what we're supposed to be doing in a sorority, is building us for the future. And if we're constantly tearing each other down, we're not going to want to be nice girls in the future. So this is the last one. It's kind of a long one. So yeah, here we go.
It literally says, okay, here we go. When I was a freshman in college, I joined a sorority at WSU. I'd never been a sorority person before, so I didn't necessarily know how I was going to like it at first. I dove right in and was so happy with being a part of a sisterhood. I made friends, got my big.
Your big is like the person that you look up to, I guess. Not your, how would you explain a big? Like your mentor, you have a couple of them, and then you choose one that you like the best, and then they're your big. They're like your big sister, your mom, you know, whatevs.
I made friends, got my big, and partied a lot as freshmen do. First semester was a 10 out of 10, so my grades were not good. Eek, happens. I wound up getting an ultimatum for my scholarship. and had to take a certain GPA during second semester to stay at Wazoo. If I'm going to be honest, second semester was an easy one for me on a personal side. I was going through a lot of trauma and exceptionally stressed out by the potential loss of my scholarship. So the easiest thing to take a step back was for my sorority.
Girl, good.
I stopped volunteering as much, didn't go to every sorority event, etc., but I remained close to my sisters. When I realized I wasn't going to be able to make the GPA I needed to continue going to school in Washington, I made the announcement I was moving after the semester was through. Everyone was supportive, so I thought...
Oh, everyone was supportive, so I thought.
The shoe didn't drop until after my last semester. While doing room checks, my Big's room had a mixed drink in it. All 4 of the roommates in that room were called into standards and asked who it was. Every single one of them said it wasn't theirs, so they were threatened to all 4 be kicked out in the house if they didn't come clean. Mind you, there was only about a month left in school and there weren't many leases beginning, so they'd be homeless. So anyway, my Big, who I 100% trusted and loved, was hanging out with my roommate and had the idea to tell standards that it was mine. Her thought process being, well, she's moving anyway, she might as well take the fall for it. Meaning that I would most likely be kicked out of the sorority, unable to join another chapter when I transfer, which was something I really wanted to do, and obviously not be in good standing. She went through with that. I got called into standards and nothing came of it. I got lucky, but the house was so quick to turn everyone against each other. Ever since I've been turned off by the idea of the Greek system. The false sense of sisterhood and the way that being part of the system is more important than the actual relationship you build baffle me, and I don't recommend it. It's been years and years since that happened, and I still can't believe I'm bitter over it.
LOL. That is so sad. Like, this is heartbreaking for me because it makes me wonder how many people I was being like this to and didn't know the things that were going on. Obviously, this has a lot of levels in it. Someone you thought you trusted saying, hey, we should put you under the bus because you're leaving anyway. Yeah, no. That is not chill, first of all, and it's like speechless. This is such a good last one to end on because I just want to talk about a couple things. If you are watching this and you want to join a sorority, you're in a sorority, you want to make change happen within your organization, please understand your freshman year in college is the hardest year by far. Some of the worst things that have happened to me my freshman year in college. Try to remember that there are bigger things going on in the world, okay? The sorority is not your life. It might seem like your life, but I'm an old, washed up sorority girl just trying to tell you guys, please, please, please be nice to each other and understand each other, that just because you didn't struggle with grades your freshman year, just because you are in some way, doesn't mean everyone is that way, okay? I'm not Gandhi. I'm not out here being like, I'm better than everyone, blah, 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 blah. But like, seriously, girl to girl, real to real, if you're a guy and you feel this way too, just let people do them, okay? It's not that serious. And I know there's a whole grade point average that you want to meet and you want to be like the top sorority in grades. I wanted to join that sorority too, girl. I love grades. I love being smart and whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm so glad I didn't join a sorority with that much pressure. We honestly weren't that good in grades, so I was like, whatevs, I want to live my own life and join a sorority that I could be myself. And that's the saddest thing, is that people feel like they join these sororities because they want to be themselves, they want to find themselves, their friends, and it turns out a shit show. It turns out kids, like I said, are governing kids, and then the people that are governing those kids are kids themselves. And I went on a tangent again. I'm so sorry. I haven't even touched my makeup at all, but like seriously, like I'm so sorry that this happened to you, and I would still be bitter about it too. I'm so bitter about so many things that have happened to me in the sorority. If you were in the sorority while I was president and I did some fucked up shit to you, like let me know. I want to grow, I want to learn. If you are an officer right now and you want to make your sorority a better place, feel free to message me. And also, fun surprise here, Emma and I are starting a podcast. So I don't want to get into the details because we're really excited. We're not sure when we're going to try to get this going. We don't know when it's going to like come out, but we're starting a podcast. So Emma and I will link her information down below. Reach out to us. We are here for you. We want you to live your best life. We want you to change the world for better. We are girls, girl power. And I want more people to talk about their experiences so people can understand that things need to change. And I might be completely blindsided because I'm not an advisor for a sorority. I'm not a volunteer. I tried. I literally have tried and no one will let me. No one will let me. So I'm doing this from the outside in. I'm probably causing some issues. I'm being problematic, but seriously, I want to help. I don't know. I guess this is an outro, but seriously, please subscribe. It doesn't take too much to just do it. If you have to make a YouTube account, you just need a Google email, which all of you guys do. You can make it private so I can't see if you're subscribed to me, or anyone else that you subscribe to. I know a lot of the people that I'm kind of targeting are people that don't necessarily watch YouTube all the time, so this is kind of interesting too. So please like, comment, subscribe, support me, support your friends, support small businesses. If anyone has a dream that they want to become a reality, whether it's music, videography, clothing, whatever, let me know. I would love to support you, shout you out. But yes, I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Live your best life, and bye.